What's up guys, Unusually Uneek here, welcome back to the channel, and thank you for stopping by and checking out another video. So I know usually when you can see my face it's a goth video, but today is actually a furry video. As you can see, I have Berry Pie here with me in spirit. I do have the suit right here, but I am not wearing her in today's video only because the topic that I'm talking about is super important, and I don't want the fursuit to overshadow that today. I will be back later on with much more happy, lighthearted content, but today's topic, you know, it hits home for me. It hits right here for me, and yeah, so let's get into it. So, if you use Twitter, then you are probably familiar with the term ShadowBan. And, you know, you're probably familiar with the fact that Twitter says that, oh, we don't ShadowBan people. Well, that statement has been put to the test over the last couple of weeks over on the furry side of Twitter, and I'm gonna, you know, go into full details about it because it's gotten me really upset. So, if you do use Twitter, but you are not familiar with what a shadow ban is, a shadow ban is essentially where you can still tweet on Twitter and you can still interact with Twitter normally, but you may notice that your engagement has gone down dramatically, and you may notice that, you know, certain people who used to interact with your stuff are no longer interacting with your tweets, and it's just like, well, what's going on? What a shadow ban is essentially on the back end of Twitter, certain things about your account don't work properly. And it's something that you don't even notice. So there's actually 4 different types of shadow bans. There is cert suggestion ban. There is a, just in general, search ban. There is a thread ban, and there is a QFD ban. And I got all that information from right here. It is a website where you can go and check to see whether or not your Twitter account is shadow banned. Now, why are we talking about shadow banning today? Like, you know, what's going on? Why? Well, I have the tea for you, and it's hot, it's spicy, and it's just, it's tea that shouldn't even be tea. So if you guys have been on the furry side of Twitter for a little bit, or even the furry side of YouTube, then you know who Ash Coyote is. Ash Coyote is a phenomenal furry filmmaker, a phenomenal furry YouTuber. She and a furry filmmaker have recently announced that they are working on a documentary. And over the last month or so, they have been releasing little snippets, little episodes about this documentary. And the documentary is called The Fandom. I am really excited to see what this documentary has in store. From the little snippets and little blurbs that have been up on Ash Coyote's YouTube channel, this documentary is shaping up to be amazing. Super amazing. So what do the fandom and shadow banning, how do they go together? Well, I guess like 2 days ago, a huge number of people who are working on this documentary have randomly been shadow banned. Then people who associate with them, people who retweet anything about this documentary on Twitter, are also being shadow banned. That is a huge problem. That is a huge issue. Not only because is that just wrong, that, you know, Twitter is shadow banning people with absolutely no explanation, but it's also terrible because at the current moment that documentary is in its funding phase. If you go right over here to the link, there is a Kickstarter for the fandom, and they are trying to raise, it's a few, I think it's like $100,000 or like $120,000 to fund the rest of the filming, the production cost, the distribution, because this documentary is, their plan is for it to be released on Blu-ray, for there to be merch like t-shirts and a bunch of different stuff, all for this documentary. Like, it's going to be a full, real whole documentary. And mind you, I am not a crew member. I'm not somebody who's been interviewed for this documentary. It's something that I'm just really, really super passionate about, because after sitting there and privately messaging Ash Coyote about what the plan and the goal of this documentary is, it is so much further far-reaching than you guys can even imagine. The little blurbs that we're seeing here on YouTube don't even scratch the surface of what Ash Coyote wants to do with this documentary. And so when I say it's the documentary about the furry fandom that you didn't know that you needed, but you absolutely need, it is the documentary about the furry fandom that you didn't know you needed, that you absolutely need. Like, I have a feeling that once this documentary is released and it is out to the public in its full and wonderful glory, that this is going to be the documentary that kids show their parents when they want to explain to them, what is the fandom? What is this whole thing about? Here, watch Ash Coyote's documentary. If there are people in the fandom who didn't even know that there's other stuff going on in the fandom, this documentary will show you that. Like, it's going to explore so many facets of the fandom that I have never seen anybody touch and never seen anybody cover before. And this documentary, just, it needs to happen. It absolutely needs to be a thing. So, why am I bringing all of that up? Why am I bringing up the Kickstarter campaign after talking about shadow bans on furry Twitter? Well, most people promote through Twitter, especially if you're a furry. That is your main source of promotion, is furry Twitter. Yes, we use YouTube. Yes, we use Facebook, but the furry fandom, like, furry Twitter runs deep. It runs so deep. That the fact that all of the promotional material is being essentially hidden from Twitter is terrifying. So that means that everybody who's pouring all of these hours into this documentary, it feels like it's all going to be for naught, because it's not being seen. Nobody on Twitter can see it unless you're already following the creators. And even then, if you have the check mark, that if you have a little box in your privacy settings checked to not show, not safe for work content, then you're not going to see any of the promotional material for this documentary when it has absolutely nothing about it being not safe for work. Well, this gets even more crazy. The whole reason that this thing blew up was because when episode 4 was released, and episode 4 was about furry YouTubers. Now, from just interacting with Ash on Twitter, I found out from her that she started noticing issues around episode 2, but it wasn't that bad. But when episode 4 was released, like maybe about an hour, or like an hour before it was set to go live on YouTube, several people started noticing, several team members started noticing that their engagement on Twitter had gone down considerably. And it was because, and I will put the screenshots up. Like, if you look, there have been multiple people who worked on episode 4 who have now been shadow banned, including Beta Ada Delota, Booth the Blue, Majira Strawberry, Ash Coyote, who is the director and producer of the fandom, a furry filmmaker who is the editor and the cameraman for the documentary. They've all been shadow banned, and it's blowing my mind that everybody who's working on this has just been mysteriously shadow banned. And then what makes it even more concerning is the fact that anybody who is friends with them, anybody who retweets any material dealing with the fandom, gets shadow banned. You know how I know? I've been shadow banned. Like, and what's crazy about it is the fact that literally the day before, my account was perfectly fine. Because I regularly check to see whether or not I've been shadow banned on Twitter, only because I'm trying to grow as a furry YouTuber. This is something that I'm super passionate about. I would love, love, love to do, furry YouTube and like make the bandanas and like just be creative full time. I wish that was my full time job. I wish that I could just, go out, do my photography with my personal business, come home, make a YouTube video, make a couple of bandanas, mail those out to people, possibly get into fursuit making, and just have that be my full-time job. So for me, promoting myself on Twitter, that's a big thing, to make sure that I'm getting in front of people's eyes. So the fact that literally the day before I was perfectly fine, and then I turn around the next day and I'm shadow banned, all for retweeting. All I did was retweet episode 4, like the promotion for episode 4 of the fandom, and I'm now mysteriously shadow banned. That's wrong. That's not right. I have never, ever posted anything on my Twitter that is not safe for work. There are a bunch of other people who have been shadow banned who have, again, never posted anything that is not safe for work. And there was a rumor going around that Twitter was just shadow banning furries in general, but I don't think that that's the case, only because there have been other people who are furries who aren't shadow banned. But it seems like everybody who's interacting with the fandom and everybody who's interacting with all the promotional stuff for this documentary are mysteriously being shadow banned, and I'm livid. Because one, you are taking potential money out of content creators' pockets, and that's not right. There are some people who, I want to do this as a full-time job. There are some people who are already doing this as a full-time job. And if they don't get the engagement, you're taking food and money out of their pockets. And then for Ash, this documentary, this is her baby. And I have done film since I was 12 years old. I'm now 25. I have done film and production in some capacity since I was 12. So I know how hard it is to get funding. I know how big of a struggle it is for you to pour your heart and soul into something, and then you started to create pieces of that, and now they have this Kickstarter going to gain funding, and now that whole thing has been jeopardized, all because Twitter is randomly shadow banning people who are trying to do good for the furry fandom. It is not often that we get positive media attention, and the fact that somebody who is part of the fandom and is very active in the fandom is making a documentary and giving us positive media attention, that is a huge thing. And to see it potentially be kneecapped because Twitter wants to randomly shadow ban people upsets me to no end. So Twitter, fix your stuff. Twitter, fix your algorithm, please. Because you are potentially taking money out of people's pockets. You are potentially taking funding away from somebody's livelihood. Like, Twitter, please fix your stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, if Twitter does not fix their stuff, what I'm going to do is down below, I'm going to link everybody who has worked on the documentary, everybody who is actively working on the documentary down below, so that way you have direct access to their Twitters. Like, all of their Twitter handles will be in the description down below. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to the Kickstarter for the fandom down below. I'm also going to leave a link to the playlist of fandom videos that have already been released so that you guys can see what I'm talking about if you are not familiar with the documentary, and that way we can get the funding together so that Ash Coyote can finish her documentary, and it's a documentary that needs to be made. And no, Ash Coyote, nobody on the team asked me to make this video. I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart because I want to see this documentary succeed. I've been part of the fandom for 10 years, and I have seen so much of the fandom, and it means the world to me. Like, the fandom has literally saved my life, so, I want to see more positive media attention for furries. that's exactly what this documentary is. I want to see it succeed so badly. You know, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, Twitter, fix your stuff, and also go support Ash Coyote if you can financially and help this project get off the ground. Yeah, that is pretty much it. Yep, shadow banning and furry documentary. It's gonna be super awesome. Twitter, fix your stuff, please and thank you. Last minute update, as I was finishing filming, I saw something on Twitter about them potentially starting to fix the problem, so hopefully they will take care of everything. Anyway, I have rambled for far too long, so yeah, I'm gonna get on out of here, and hopefully the next videos that I post up here will be on a much happier, much more light-hearted topic. So I will make another video a little bit later on talking about why I haven't really been posting content. You know, part of it is because I've been working like crazy ever since I got back from the convention. But the other part of it is because I do have some stuff in the works to revamp this YouTube channel. But again, I will cover all that in a completely different video. If you did miss the last video that I posted that wasn't a random rant style video, you can check it out right here, and all that is a furry music video that I filmed at Furthermore. The convention was freaking amazing. But yeah, that is my Furthermore review video, but it was a music video, a lot of fun to do. The last video that I posted before that was another furry video. I don't even remember what it was because it's been a while since I posted it, but if you want to see more furry content, you can check it out right here. If you really enjoyed this rant style video, or you just enjoy the other type of content I make on the channel, or you want to help me make this a full-time job, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as a little bell notification icon right next to it so you can be notified when I post new videos. If you enjoyed this, make sure you leave a thumbs up to spread awareness about the issue that is going on Twitter. Make sure that you share this video, and once I share the link on Twitter, make sure you retweet the tweet that has this link so that more people can know and see what's going on. So yeah, share this video, and share my channel. You know, like, I'm not begging for subscribers or anything like that. Like I said, I would love to absolutely do this as a full-time job, and the only way I can do that is if the channel grows. So yeah, and finally, if the random shadow banning has affected you, leave a comment down below. If you just want to say hi to me, anything like that, again, leave a comment down below. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Berry Pie, Unusually Unique, Stripes, and the whole gang over here on Very Unusual loves you so much, and we are out. Peace.